Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 4K channel. Tonight we have a battle between Black Templar and Orks. We are going to do something slightly differently though. Basically, while I was at my dad's, I found my old City Fight supplement, and we're going to run a mission out of that. So obviously with 7th edition rules. So the mission that we are doing is High Ground. So basically, we are aiming to capture the highest building on the board, which happens to be the old Forge World scenery. Deployment zones are down, again, something slightly different. It's slightly at a V, so one player will get a smaller board edge, while the other player will get quite a large deployment zone. Special rules in this one are, you're not allowed to deploy within 12 inches of the building, and you're not allowed to deploy within 12 inches of an enemy unit. So we could only be 12 inches apart at the start of the battle, but this is City Fight, so that does kind of make sense. Basically, with deployment, we take it in turns. So heavy support first, then troops, then HQ, then elites, and then fast attack. Taking it in turn to put one model down. As I said, not within 12 inches of the building or 12 inches of each other. Now, at the end of the game, what happens is, if both of us have players in here, we have a special round of close combat. It doesn't matter if you're not in base-to-base contact. If you're in that building, you're in close combat. And basically, we are trying to kill each other at the end of the battle. So, just because the game ends, doesn't mean it's the end of the fight. We might have a special section of close combat to determine who wins this building. If it's a drawn combat, we just go again and go again until one of us has been wiped out and one of us is in control of this. HQ for the Orks tonight. I am taking my war boss on his bike with his big power claw and the pain boy. These guys will be accompanying the knobs that I normally take. I'm also taking a weird boy tonight, so he is a level 2 psyker. Hopefully be able to do some damage across the board. Next, it's a squad of Gretchens, hopefully running up the side of that high building, getting in there and claiming it for the Orks. Next, on the troops, we have a 12-boy squad, all heavy boys, or hard boys, in their heavy armour. That's the right way around. Running around in a truck, there's a rocket in there and a knob with a big chopper. Next, a little bit of a strange number, we have a 19-boy squad. No specialist weapons in there, there's just a knob with a power claw. So yeah, they're going to be accompanied, but I haven't got to with what yet. Elites, I'm taking a 5-knob squad. In there, there's 2 big choppers and a power claw. They're going to be riding around in the battle wagon with a zap gun. More than likely being accompanied with the pain boy. Next elite choice, I'm taking a Death Dread. This guy comes with 3 close combat weapons and a rocket launcher. Final elite choice, it's my usual bikes, it's my usual knob bikers. In there, 4 power claws and 1 big chopper with my boss and my pain boy. So that should be quite cool. Hopefully getting in, causing in lots of damage. Fast attack, I'm taking a blitzer bomber tonight. I normally take the burner bomber, but I thought I'd give it a bit of a change. Take the blitzer one instead of the burner. So, you know, just mix it up a little bit, see what it does. See if it's worth getting another flyer in my army. Over to heavy support, I am taking 9 looters with a mech who has a custom mega blaster. Been a few comments. Well, I think there was a comment recently on one of the last videos about don't take looters, they're rubbish. Do you know what? 3 shots each, possible, strength 7 weapons. They can take down a land raider, they can glance it to death. So I'm hoping that's what they're going to do tonight and prove their points worth. There is also an open top battle wagon. My 19 boys squad are going to be in there and they're going to be joined by Gaz. The Ghazghkull is coming out to play tonight. This high ground mission is far too important to leave to any normal war boss. He is taking on the challenge himself. So there you go then, guys. That is my 2,000 point Ork army that's going to be facing the Black Templars tonight. Said in the intro, we are doing a slightly different mission. So yeah, it should be a bit of fun. Let's go take a look at the Black Templars.
I'm going to do something different. I was kind of intrigued by the mission selection. So I thought, well, if I was a commander, what would I take to the party? Rather than being kind of hung up on what I would normally take as part of my Templars army. So, we've got a little new guy, don't see him very often, Chapter Master with Lightning Claws, and he's joined in a HQ slot by a Chaplain in Power Armour, and a Tech Marine with a Servo Harness and a Power Weapon. And those guys are going to run with a squad of Initiates, Crusader squad, with a Power Weapon, Power Fist even. And then we've got a Sword Brother with a Combi Flamer, and tucked in there as well we've got a melt gun. And then the rest of the squad is really just standard Templar fare of bolt pistol and chainsword, and they're all going to run around in this guy in my Land Raider Crusader. Normally you're accustomed to seeing Terminators in there, but not today. This is the vehicle of choice for all these characters to have a little run around in. My other troop choices, we've got another Crusader squad, Power Fist, Sword Brother with Combi Flamer and a Melter. Those guys in a Rhino. And then a basically similar looking squad over here, except the special weapon in this squad is another Flamer. Man, when I play Orks, I wish I had more Flamers, but I just don't have the models, so just making do with what I've got really. But yeah, Flamer in that squad. In my fast attack selection, we've got these guys, an Assault squad, fitted out with the Flamer, and a Power Weapon and a Plasma Pistol, so nicely tooled out, and a Storm Talon, which will be coming on with my Storm Raven. I'm not sure if I'm going to deploy the Assault Squad in the Raven or whether to drop them in separately. I've not decided yet. Just see how the terrain looks and see how I feel as the battle commences. And then other heavy support, I've got a Vindicator. You can't beat dropping pipe plates to death, especially on Orks. And a Trilas Predator, which I thought I'd pack just in case there was any serious armour brought along by Rich. But not sure that's going to have too many targets based on what I've just seen. But we'll see how the battle goes, and that's my 2K's worth.
We can deploy on the line as long as you're 12 inches away from an enemy unit. So, my Death Dread, my Gretchens, and my big massive bikes are all on the deployment lines. Basically because over here we have Jonathan's Land Raider, Assault Squad, Vindicator, and over this side around here we have a Rhino. So we've got a nice big clump of Templars all deployed down here, and they are staring down at what can only be described as quite a large green horde coming at them. I'm kind of hoping the Orks get first turn. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Generally, get in, let's cut them up. Over this side of the board for the Orks, the Battle Wagon with the Knobs and the Weird Boy are here, looking at steaming forward, getting into the building. Maybe going in over here if the bike's taking a few casualties in the if we don't get first turn. Next for the Orks, we have the Looters. Now they are deployed in that building, basically overlooking this. So if anybody does attempt to get in there from the Black Templars, they're going to be peppered with shots because there's a nice line of fire clean down the road either side. This side for the Black Templars, there's a Rhino and a Predator facing off against these Black Templars. On this side of the board, we have a truck that has got the shooter boys in, and then we have got the truck that has got 19 boys and Gaz in there. So they're aiming to head over there. I didn't deploy them on the line. I could have pushed Jonathan really far back. He's really struggled to deploy with this one unit at a time, because with me deploying kind of these guys down here as troops, they went down first. John had to deploy 12 inches back, so I've kind of pushed him into a corner over there and not so much over that side of the board. So really interesting deployment, different. It made it difficult to choose where to put stuff. So let's head over to turn one. Happy days for the Orks. They got turn one. Jonathan couldn't capture the first turn, so everything is steamed up. The bikes, they've swung round, they're going in after the Assault Squad. They're the only things that can get up to that building really quick, so let's take them out. My Death Dread is coming in, hopefully going to be destroying the Land Raider over this side of the board. The Grots have moved up, kind of slowly heading towards the building. They're going to have to go through a volley fire of shells on the Vindicator and the Rhino though, because it's open ground. But with that in mind, the battle wagon has moved forward with the zap gun on. Hopefully, you never know, might get it shot off and destroy one of these tanks. The fire from the looters, I think, is also going to go down here as well, hopefully blowing them up. So I'm kind of thinking dead, dead, one of these dead, maybe both of them. Now that would be quite funny. Down over this side of the board, the other two things to move are my truck and my battle wagon. They've moved up their full 12 inches, basically to get me within assault range next turn. So hopefully next turn these guys will be mopped up. I know Jonathan has a lot in tanks. He also has quite a lot in reserve. So I'm going to have to deal with what's on the board now and then deal with what comes on at the end. Well, probably about turn 2, turn 3. So yeah, let's get into them. Let's smash them up as much as we can. Let's do as much damage in the shooting phase. The Death Dread opened up with a rocket at the Land Raider. Missed wildly. There's a shock. Doesn't surprise me. The bikes opened up. Did like 12 wounds. And the two guys at the front just basically tanked them all until they fell. Right at the very end. So there are two guys down in the assault squad. I will be going into combat. This will be going into combat over here. Down here, the Vindicator lost 2 hull points from the looters up in that building. Some nice shots coming off from the looters. So yeah, then down to 1. Down here, the Rhino lost a hull point from the big shooter over there. The zap gun failed to hit, unfortunately. Otherwise, that could have gone pop. So basically down here, it's kind of gone as I expected. Not touched. Expected more dead there, to be honest. And these two alive. But we've got the assault phase to go over there. Over this side of the board, basically because we moved forward so quickly and lack of guns, untouched and untouched. So next turn it will be assault here and they will be dead. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Yeah, that went quite well. Basically the Death Dread ran into the Land Raider, smashing it open, killing off 2 guys that were inside. The resource and explosion actually put a wound onto my bikers, a little bit unfortunate, who in the combat phase basically just absolutely annihilated the assault squad. They've consolidated 4 inches, so I had a choice. Do I go ahead nowhere and then take out the Vindicator, or do I surround these guys here, hopefully protecting myself from some kind of shell from that, because John, you know, his own guys are standing there. He might scatter onto them, so he might think twice about dropping a big shell on my face. Hopefully. But I wouldn't put it past him to just not care about these guys anymore. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the assault phase. It was quite good. This side of the board, Land Raider's gone. That's always a good sign. The assault squad have gone. That, again, is quite helpful for me. So yeah, I think let's get rid of that Vindicator and then let's turn the attention on getting into this building.
Right, I didn't get a lot of choices down here. Basically, this squad was corralled, so all I've done with my movement down here is just adjust flamers into optimum positions to start flaming these guys. Particular eye on the pain boy down here. Yeah, it's not great. But what can you do? It's fight or it's fall on the floor. Those are the 2 choices. Over in the middle section down here, I've used a Rhino as a little bit of a ablative cover and move the Vindicator forward. I'm going to shoot the Vindicator that way and use the cover of the Rhino to get rid of these guys before they start being irritating. In the middle of the building, wow, we've just gone for it. He's just driving on in there, straight to the cover over there, straight in. Well, what else can you do? I just want to make sure it gets something in there to at least fight it out. Down here, backed up just to open up the gap, and man, I wish I'd powder machine spirit so I could take out 2 vehicles, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to have to deal with those in the order they present themselves in, and that's it. So that's movement done. Let's go straight on to shooting and see what happens. See if these guys can weather the storm and survive. Well, these guys clearly are intimidated, as you probably would be if you had that lot looking at you, and managed to do basically nothing. We've got 1 wound out of all that lot, so that's 2 flamers. Goodness knows how many bolt pistols.
No, that wound was there from my own explosion. No, you're exploding Land Raider. So
Yeah.
you absolutely whiffed that.
No, you're absolutely right. No wounds caused by me, but one from the Land Raider blowing up. So that was pretty useless and pretty pathetic.
It was very useless.
Well, down here, look, I mean, the grots are dead, so that's 30 points taken off the board. Hurrah. Everyone get excited about that.
Kill my grots, how dare you?
The Vindicator shot over here and failed to penetrate. We did hit, which was nice, and didn't scatter my own guys, which is the bonus, I suppose. Over here, that didn't have any targets, so it didn't do anything. Trilaz shot at the truck, and it's destroyed, and it's taken 3 guys with it. So, not the best result, but it is. It's destroyed, which is good. So that is the end of my turn, other than the all-important assault phase down here. So clearly,
so dead.
Clearly, I'm going to be charging in because well, why would you stand there and take any more pain? So those guys are going to get it over with nice and early by going for the charge. So as you might have expected, it was pretty brutal down here, but Templars did better than I expected. I have lost 5 of my own guys, including the guy with the power fist, which is a little bit irritating, but it is what it is. And how many bikes have we lost?
10.
10 bikes! That's pretty cool, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. They did pretty well.
Be.
But then there's a chaplain, there's a tech marine tank top, and there's a marshal in there. Sorry, chapter master these days. So it's quite a hefty unit, in fairness. But that was quite a good result. I'm reasonably happy with that. I think they will get wiped out next turn, to be honest. But at least they're going to go down fighting, which is good.
The Death Dread has moved up. That assault hurt, so it was trust me to get cocky and it not pull off. So yeah, only my 2 HQ choices left. Death Dread's had to move around there. Bit of support. Down here, the Battle Wagon has moved up. The Knobs and the Weird Boy are out. My psychic powers, I have Frazzle, I have Edbanger, and I have Warpath. So we'll find out what them little bad boys do when I unleash hell on these guys down there. Got a good couple of shots out, maybe at the Rhino, maybe at the Vindicator. These guys in this building here have all stayed still. Again, nice range of fire down there. Hopefully mopping up. If they do win combat down there, they've got, the Black Templars, they've got a long walk to get back into the fight. So let's mop up down here. Over this side of the board, the Battle Wagon moved up. The 19 boy squad have jumped out. They're a bit angry. They're going into the back of that Rhino. Gaz, who was with them, has departed for the time being. He wants to get rid of this, so he's going in there. He's going to be supported by the remaining squad of boys that were in that truck. They will also be going in there, and then all attention will turn to this building. So let's go shoot the hell out of these guys. And there was me in the last round having a pop at Jonathan for whiffing all of his shots when that's exactly what I've done. In true Orc fashion, during the psychic phase, my Weird Boy released Frazzle on these guys down here. It scattered back 8 inches straight onto, well, my Knob and my Weird Boy, killing one of my Knobs off. That was awful. I remember why I don't take Weird Boys. Battle Wagon opened up at the Rhino, not doing anything. The Looters opened up at the Vindicator, again, not doing anything. It's getting quite annoying now. Obviously, this guy down here can't actually shoot. Down here, this massive, great big, angry green blob opened up at the Rhino, taking it down to 1 hull point. I was hoping not to go into assault as it blows up in my face, but oh well, I have no choice now. I'm going in. It's getting bye-byes. Let's get the guys out. Let's get them killed. Over here, Gaz opened up with his big shooters and again did nothing, so it's going to be over to assault down there. So, assault, dead. Assault, dead. Probably a couple of them guys dead. Let's get the guys out. Assault, dead. Or do I go for the Rhino and blow it up and hopefully take a couple of them out? And down there, assault, I'm dead. So yeah, that went well. Down here, the boys and Gaz made it into combat. Gaz didn't even need to hit. He was kind of just overseeing. Removed all the hull points from the boys, so that was always good. So that's 1 threat down on this side of the board. Over here, there is another threat down. one has emerged out the back of it, but hey-hos. Basically, removed all the hull points. Again, just the boys. The power claw wasn't needed. So, there's quite a lot of boys there. Not many Space Marines there, but they are Space Marines. They are tough.
Space Marines!
Space Marines. These guys are going to be coming up in support. It's going to take them a little while to get up there, but they're going to get there. Down here, again, these knobs, literally, and the weird boy failed to make it into combat and took a wound in the process from Overwatch. So, yeah, that was really good. Down here, I don't really want to talk about it, but I suppose I'm going to have to. The Pain Boy died first, which meant that the war boss on the bike was very vulnerable. He got killed outright straight away, didn't even get a chance to hit back. My Dreadnought, however, got blown up, blew up in their face, killing off 3. Yep. So that squad is depleted. It's got a hell of a long way to go across the board to get into the building. So, yeah, not really concerned about that one at the moment.
Okay, so some good news on the reinforcement roll. As you can see, Storm Raven and the Storm Talon are in. The Storm Raven has immediately appeared and gone into hover mode, so those guys on the floor can climb aboard and grab the Storm Raven bus to the high ground. Storm Talon is looking down at these guys here. The squad that was sitting there, we've moved out of the way, taking the Rhino with them for a bit of mobile cover. Vindicator stayed put to drop a pie plate over this way. And round the back of the building, my other squad has just basically formed up a shooting gallery. So we're going to be firing into this lot before we charge. Okay, again, a bit of a mixed bag for shooting. So the Storm Raven dropped a shot down here at the whatever it is, Ork contraption. And that has taken off a hull point, which is good. Storm Talon has hit that squad pretty hard. Thanks to a lucky lookout sir roll, then the weird boy is still on the table, but that squad is definitely thinned out. Vindicator dropped a template again at that vehicle, but no damage, unfortunately. Down here I did fire the Stormbolter back over here, but that fell to wound. Over here, Flamer did plenty of damage. As you can see, that squad's been softened up, and between the Flamer and the bolt pistols, there's 8 boys taken out there, so that's good. Okay, so a good round of assault there, and I've lost 3 of my guys, and they've taken 8 Orks with them, so pretty successful. It did force a morale check on the Orks, but a roll of 6 meant they rallied, and they're in the game for a bit longer, but pretty quietly confident about how that assault's going to pan out down there. So that's the end of my turn, and it's over to Rich.
One thing Jonathan forgot to mention was the battle wagon is actually now immobilised, so that has stayed still, obviously. It has got some nice shots going on down here. My flyer is on. I think it's going to be dropping some big bombs on there. Down here, the weird boy and the one remaining knob have shuffled forward. Little bit of a suicide move, but I'm going to try and get off a couple of psychic spells down here without killing myself this time. Would be quite nice. I hope you can hear me. Otherwise, you'll be going back in the box and never be seen again. Down here, these guys are locked in combat. Here, these guys have joined up, Gaz and the shooter boys, and they're going to come around here, and they're basically going to go in and muller this squad for being cheeky. So the plan is, I'm going to die in combat there. These guys are going to die. That's going to die. That's going to die. They're going to die, and John goes home crying. So Gaz and the boys have ran, and they got an extra 2 inches on their run move though. Yeah, it was a bit of a turn of the whiff monster. The only thing that did anything was my Blitzer jet. Why I haven't taken one of these before, I don't know. Basically, it missed with all its shots. However, it dropped one of its big bombs on this squad here, killing 8 outright. So there's only 1 guy left, so John's going to have to rally him. Shots from up here. Took a hull point off there. Shots from here, did nothing. Weird boy in the psychic phase tried to get off Frazzle. He got it off, but scattered, and it missed all of these guys down here, so they're perfectly fine. So they're dead next turn. This side of the board is now in control of Jonathan. But this side of the board is looking a bit more mine. I think we're going to probably come together over the objective and just duke it out. But Jonathan is quite quickly running out of troops. That's really the only full squad left. And these guys down here are going to have to get in that flyer and zoom across here to make any kind of impact if we get to turn 5.
Okay, so this poor little guy left behind didn't pass his morale. He's run, but because he's a Space Marine and because for the Emperor, he'll be back in the game next turn. So that's where he's at. Vindicator has essentially stayed put. I haven't decided whether I'm going to shoot the vehicle or shoot the looters on the building yet. Depends how the Storm Talon goes. So the Storm Talon is shot forward with a view to taking on the looters. My Storm Raven is down here. It's collected what's left of that Crusader squad. So my Tech Marine, my Chapter Master, and Sword Brother, and one of the Marine. They're all on board, riding high. So we've moved over to here, and I'll be shooting down here. Gaz trying to cut off that reinforcement wave before it has a chance to do anything. So the Storm Talon's done a pretty good job of clearing out the looters. There's 2 left. We've already done the morale on them just out of interest, and they have passed. So they're still there, but there's only 2 of them. So that's
3 of them.
3 of them, sorry. Well, not a lot anyway. Plenty dead, which is good. The Vindicator has also done some damage as well. Another hull point taken off that, and you can also see it's missing its turret now, so weapon destroyed result there. Not so great with the Storm Raven. Fired down here, and thanks to Gaz's 2-up save and some dodgy shots from the multi-melter, then nothing's happened down here, no wounds at all. So my Crusader squad's made short work of what was left of that little squad, and they've consolidated away towards the building, getting away from these guys and getting towards the objective, more importantly, I suppose.
A little bit annoying how I lost that squad in close combat. I thought they'd do a little bit better. So Gaz and the boys have moved up nicely within firing range. Not that you can see because of the smoke, but in there. So hopefully getting some damage on. My flyer is gone off the board. These guys have moved around 6 inches. They're going to go into assault over here. The looters inside that building that are still alive are going to try and take out the Talon because it's starting to do my head in. And that is pretty much everything. The battle wagon's kind of just sitting there with his engine ticking over, not really doing anything, chilling out, which I don't blame him. Weird Boy in the Psychic phase cast Warpath, so gets +1 attack. So in the assault phase, they will be going into the Vindicator. The Rhino has gone, lost its final hull point from the big shooter with the Ork, surprisingly enough, who actually managed to hit something for a nice change. The Talon has gone down a hull point. Jonathan decided not to jink it from the looters inside this building. So 1 down, 2 to go. Over here, this squad with Gaz and the boys, they opened fire over here, killing off 2. It's a big old charge range, but I can't really lose out, so let's give that a go. And obviously down there into the Vindicator. So hopefully I'll get into at least one of them. First off, guys, it has started raining here, so if you're going to hear it on the video, I do apologise. I am in the process of learning how to control the weather. It's just taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. Back to the battle. The Weird Boy and the one remaining Knob made it into combat with the Vindicator, removing its last hull point. Basically, the Weird Boy kicked it to death and headbutted it and clawed at it. And basically, yeah, so that's good. That's one big pipelet of doom out of the way. Down here, Gaz and the boys, shockingly, actually made it into assault down here and basically wiped the floor with the Templars that were there. And then I rolled a 6 to consolidate. So they have jumped all the way up to here. So Gaz is up on almost the top floor, surrounded by a bit of a bodyguard of guys. John needs to get into this building and survive so that if we finish on turn 5, we have a combat. But he's only got a squad in there and this one guy that can actually issue me any kind of challenge in combat. If he can't do that and I'm in the building, Orks win.
It's crunch time, guys. What's left of that Crusader squad with my chapter master in there has piled out the back of the Storm Raven. Storm Raven's taken off and turned around. Obviously hover mode. Storm Talon has used its cute little Vector Dancer ability to swing around and bring guns to bear there. The one sword brother that was left from the other squad has snuck around the corner, looking to join up with that squad, but it's not quite in coherency yet. So that's the movement done. We're all in the building, which is awesome, but there's a lot of orcs, not a lot of guns. So we're just going to have to see how it goes from here, but let's start off with shooting and see if we can soften them up a bit. So the combined firepower of the two flyers, plus the squad and the Lone Ranger down here, we've taken off 4 orcs from the top deck. It's that's good news because it's softened them up a little bit. It's one hell of an assault roll, but I'm going to give it a whirl because I'm going to get attacked sooner or later, so I may as well take the initiative. Okay, so you can see what's happened here. The Black Templars have made it into assault, which is awesome. However, Gaz did get away unscathed out of all that lot, but the boys surrounding him are all dead, so his kind of meat shield is no more. And that combat is going to continue up there. And it really is all about that combat now because I've only got flyers left, and they can't do anything to secure the building because of the nature of the mission. And Rich has really only got these squad down here and the looters over there, so they can't really do a lot from where they're at. So it is all down to this combat, really.
The Knob and the Weird Boy have moved around from the Vindicator that they destroyed in combat. I've also ran them, so they've ran 3 inches. Looking at getting over here into this building, I honestly don't think they're going to make it. Possibly, maybe if we get a turn 6 to join in, but I don't know. That's obviously mobilised. They're obviously staying still. My flyer is back on. It's chasing down the Talon. It's going to try and shoot this thing in the bum and try and blow it out of the sky, and so are the looters, unless I decide to try and shoot over here. A little bit risky, but might be worth the shot. Let's go and see what's going on, and then let's see what the hell happens up here. Basically everything opened up at the Talon. Got a couple of hits, got a couple of penetrating hits, but John managed to jink them out the way. Yeah, that's pretty much everything in the shooting phase. In assault over here, Gaz basically tanked everything and killed off the sword. Oh no, he took a wound actually, didn't he? He took 1 wound, so he's down to 2 wounds. And he's killed one of the Black Templar guys. So drawn combat, and we're over to Jonathan's turn 5.
Flyers moved around the building to neutralise the potential threat of the Weird Boy and his buddy making their way into that fight. So that's the good news. That unit is dead. It's no more. But if we look up at the building, we can see there is a result of this combat. It's not great news, unfortunately. My chapter master got smacked around the face with obviously a very high strength weapon, and he failed his Iron Halo roll. So he's insta-killed. So he's dead. I mean, he only actually took 1 wound, but he's dead because it was double his toughness. So that sucks. That's a stupid roll, and I don't like it. So I'm going home now.
So there we go then, guys. That is the end of the battle. We make it to the end of turn 5. I'd be interested to see what you guys think about us doing a city fight mission. Obviously, city fights supplement is quite old now, but you know it's good to pull these things out and update them into 7th edition. And we've also done a Planet Strike battle in the past. So let us know what you guys think about doing some more of these missions. But in this mission here, Gaz is victorious. The Orks are victorious. He is standing on top of the battlements here in this wrecked building, bellowing to his fellow Orks that he has won the battle, he has won the day for them. Good old Gaz. I never had any doubt in my mind that was a good miniature. So then, guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. Again, quite a lot of carnage on the battlefield. We don't seem to have a one-sided battle here at Geeks. Every time it's blood and guts and carnage everywhere. So hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like if you liked it. Drop us a comment. It'd be great to hear your feedback. And if you like what we do, why not press that big old red subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next one.